Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're all doing well at home and you're staying safe and healthy. In today's episode, I am really excited to be sharing with you guys my take on a fragrance by the company Atelier, and this one is called Riviera Drive, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin the video, just a full disclosure, I do want to remain transparent. This bottle was sent to me for review by the company. Actually, I don't know if it was for review, but it was gifted to me by the company, but it is a pleasure for me to now review it, despite the fact that it was actually given to me many, many months ago. Now, as you can probably tell by looking at the color of the bottle, this is going to be a fresher composition, definitely a bit more citrus and aromatic properties included in here. So even though it was gifted to me many, many months ago, this is one where I kind of put it on the back burner, knowing that I wasn't going to get a whole lot of use from it in the winter months. And so I decided to pull it back out recently, and I'm so glad that I did, because I'm going to be wearing this one a lot in the spring and the summer. You might have noticed that this one was not featured in my spring list, but it will 100% be featured in my summer list when the time comes. It is one of the most amazing summer niche fragrances that I've gotten my nose on, but I'm going to save that for a little bit later on in the review. So the perfumer for this one is Marie Salamagne, and she is a perfumer over at Firmenich. When I was looking up her library of work, she's done work for Giorgio Armani, Dolce & Gabbana, Guerlain. She's done tons of fragrances for Atelier. She's a very accomplished and very talented perfumer, and I'm honored that I own one of her fragrances. I actually own a ton of her fragrances, but I'm honored to be reviewing this one today. What I know about this company is that they release fragrances in waves. So you have some fragrances with a transparent bottle, but a white cap, some with a transparent bottle and a black cap. And then you also have the white, or what I like to call the white collection. All the bottles and the caps were white. And here you have the blue collection. There are 3 fragrances released in this collection. And when I met up with the owner of the company a few months ago, he had me try all of them, including some of their older releases, which I tried long time ago. And this is the one that I fell in love with. This is the one that really appealed to me. And they did not have a bottle on hand at the time when we met up, nor was I asking for one. But the lady wanted to take down my information, and she ended up sending me a bottle of it a few weeks later, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm so happy to have this in my possession right now. So like I said, this is a citrus aromatic fragrance. It contains lemon, marjoram, rosemary, absinthe. It has cedarwood, patchouli. I'm really excited to be telling you a little bit more about the smell, but let's start things off with the presentation. Now, the presentation for this fragrance is absolutely amazing, but unfortunately, I am reviewing from a tester, so this box doesn't look as glamorous. But if you would like to know what the box for this one looks like, feel free to watch other reviews here on YouTube or just do a quick Google search. Now, as you can tell from the bottle, it actually has real gold flakes floating around inside, which I think is a really amazing and luxurious touch to the presentation, as long as it doesn't increase the price, of course, right? And you just have the name of the fragrance and the name of the company here in the front. And I also like this blue, summery looking coloration on the bottle here. The cap for this fragrance has the Atelier logo engraved into it. And the bottom of the bottle has a sticker with your pertinent information and serial number if you're looking to authenticate your purchase. The cap for this fragrance does click into place very securely, but I would suggest not picking it up from the cap because it is a very heavy bottle. And the distribution on the atomizer is a little bit narrow, but it gets the job done. Let's continue with the smell. As soon as this fragrance opens up, you are going to get this incredible lemon note. Whenever I think of fragrances that have this really bright, organic, and natural smelling lemon note, I think of fragrances like Eau d'Adrienne by Annick Goutal, Limoni di Sicilia by Il Profumi di Firenze, Acqua Viva by Profumum Roma. Well, here we have another one to add to the list. Very bright, natural, amazing smelling lemon note in the opening. However, this lemon note is not alone. It's actually compounded with a lot of aromatic ingredients in there. You have the rosemary, you have the marjoram. It's funny, I looked up the note breakdown on Fragrantica and I got a little scared because one of those ingredients, or at least the icon for it, looked a little bit like juniper berry. And I'm typically not a fan of juniper berry, but when I got to smell it, I said, oh, everything about this is pleasant. So I was really happy that I ended up really liking it as much as I did post, smelling it for the first time. But it also has this absinthe note in here, which is interesting. So there are a lot of fragrances out there that contain an absinthe note. Of course, some on the niche side, we have Absinthe by Nasamato, which is an Alessandro Gottieri composition. We also have a fragrance that smells similar to that from the house of Kajal. I don't remember what the fragrance is called, maybe Wadek. I could be completely off, but there's a fragrance from the Fida collection that also smells a little bit like Absinthe by Nasamato. And then there's also a designer fragrance by Jean Paul Gaultier called Le Beau Mall that has this Absinthe, Artemisia, wormwood note going on in there. And that's a fragrance not to be confused with the more recently released Le Beau. That one is a coconut sweet composition, totally different from Le Beau Mall, which is sort of in a white bottle with like these almost light blue greenish stripes on it. I think it's discontinued now. But anyway, this is an amazing and such an easy to wear absinthe fragrance. Now you do have the lemon, you have the aromatic ingredients, you have the subtlety of the woods in the base. This is unquestionably a citrus aromatic fragrance, and I just think the balance of all the different notes is perfect. There's nothing that overshadows or overwhelms any of the other ingredients. The lemon that's used in here sustains itself for quite a long time throughout the composition. It's not one of those ultra volatile ingredients where after a while you just can't smell it anymore. It just becomes completely imperceptible. Despite the fact that I sprayed this about 15 to 20 minutes ago, I still get that bright sort of acidic appeal in the opening that comes from the lemon, and it's just a very well done niche quality fragrance, and I think it's going to be a stunning release, especially once people have an opportunity to get their nose on it. I think they're really going to be able to perceive the quality in this fragrance, and this will become an instant classic. Now, as it starts to dry down, those aromatic ingredients do linger, but despite the fact that it's aromatic and it also has a patchouli, nothing about this fragrance is ever overly green to my nose. It still retains its freshness all the way through, which is kind of what I'm looking for a summertime release. Of course, I want something with a backbone. I want something that's not going to be ultra fleeting or ephemeral, but something about this fragrance does come across rather dynamic and rather strong, and I really do appreciate that about this fragrance. Now, in the dry down, you also have a little bit of this cashmeran note, and what I find that it does, it adds almost this musky texture to the fragrance, where it's not this plain, linear, sort of boring fragrance. It actually has depth, it has complexity, it has all of these various elements intertwined in there. And I think for a fresh fragrance, I like that it's not that linear. I like that it's not that obvious or that expected or anticipated. I like that it does something differently. It has a really unique twist about it. This is awesome. In terms of occasions though, I think this one can be worn both casually and dressed up. The type of person that I can imagine wearing this one, just because it is suited for a wide window of different occasions. Somebody who is just doing things on a casual basis. Maybe they're cleaning up around the house. They want a spirit lifter and a pick-me-up because these bright citrusy fragrances always do that for me. But also somebody who at nighttime, putting on a shirt and tie or a suit and tie, wants to go out there and impress, maybe even go on a date, and you want to wear something that's going to separate you from what other people are wearing. This is such a fantastic fragrance to consider for that type of an occasion as well. Overall, I'm really impressed with the quality of this fragrance, and let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. First up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, even though I made a passing reference to other citrus fragrances, lemon fragrances, absinthe fragrances, this one can stand on its own two legs. This one is a super unique fragrance, and I've never smelled these types of notes being brought together before. So I'm really happy that I do own this one in my collection, and I'm happy that I can also have it as a new benchmark for me to reference when it comes to citrus aromatic fragrances. In terms of the overall smell, very appealing. There is nothing, in my opinion, that is unappealing about the smell of lemon. I mean, I guess it could be a little bit too tart or too acidic for some people, but it doesn't really give that impression in this fragrance. It's a nice balance with the other ingredients that are in here. In terms of the versatility, I got about 6 to 7 hours on my skin. So listen, it gets me through my workday. That's really all that I'm looking for. I'm not really looking for something that's a beast mode performer upwards of 12 hours or something like that. I want to be able able to wash it off my skin when I'm showering at night is what I'm trying to say. But in terms of the projection, fantastic for the first 2 hours, keeping in mind that it does have that volatile citrus in the opening, which will carry the fragrance into the mid. In terms of the versatility, incredibly versatile. As long as you have the money to afford it, of course, you can wear it casually, you could wear it dressed up. I think it's perfectly unisex. I think this one will also appeal to somebody who's in their 20s, perhaps early 20s, but I think it also has this distinguished and elegant feel about it that it can also be worn when you're a little bit older, a little bit more mature and set in your ways. Lastly, in terms of the presentation, just amazing. Everything from the gold flakes on the inside to the logo in the cap clicking into place, the coloration on the bottle, just the mindset that it puts you in and the feelings and emotions that it evokes is absolutely stellar. My final verdict on this fragrance is this is going to be one of my favorite fragrances for the summer of 2020. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to spend outdoors. Who knows how long this pandemic will last, but I certainly do know that I look forward to wearing this fragrance a lot more in the coming months, and I do find this to be mostly appropriate for the summertime just because of the fullness and the presence of the lemon in the opening, but spring and summer is really where it's at. I hope you have a chance to go out there and try it, and I hope you're also as pleasantly impressed and surprised by this fragrance as I have been. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my review of Riviera Drive by Atelier. If you own or have tried this fragrance, please go ahead and let me know what you think by leaving a comment down below. Also, if you are new to this channel and you took something of value from this video, I would really appreciate it if you could support this channel by subscribing to it. It's all I'm asking you to do. All you have to do is click that red subscribe button in the corner, and please make sure to click on the bell icon right next to it. This way you can enable all notifications, so whenever I do upload future fragrance related content, you will get that push notification sent straight to your mobile device. You never need to worry about missing any of my future uploads, and of course that includes fragrance reviews just like this, top 10 videos, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, interviews, and a lot more. Thanks again for watching. I love you all. We'll see you soon. Stay safe. Bye.